The following is a presentation of SC State Athletics.
The South Carolina State Bulldogs are on the road this week in Washington, D.C. to take on the Howard University Bison. The Bison, coached by Larry Scott, are 2-1 in the MEAC and still have a shot at a MEAC championship because they have only one conference loss. For South Carolina State with two conference losses, mathematically, the Bulldogs still have a shot, but it's a very slim margin at this point. The big question, can the Bulldogs put together 4 quarters of good football and get their 4th win of the season? We're about to find out. Coming up next on The Buddy Pugh Show. Quarterback pass. Corey throws a slant. It's caught. Touchdown! South Carolina State. Outside there. Hit the pitch in the end zone. It's Corey. Pressure coming. Got to let it go. Throws it out there. Caught! Touchdown! Brings it back in. South Carolina State. 16 yards. Breaks through the 15, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdowns. Ventrell Flowers. He keeps it himself. Devontae Green got wrapped up and gets him on the turf. Coach Pugh, Howard. This is a different Howard team than we've been accustomed to seeing in years when we come up here to play.
It is. Their record isn't really indicative of how good they played. And at the time, it looked like they were fixing to fall apart a little bit. They get a little bit of wind beneath their sails, and the next thing you know, they're playing for the conference championship now. They got beat up last week against Central, up at Central, but Central can do that to you. But it still leaves them in the race. They've only got one loss, so if they win out, then they tie Central. They're a co-champion if Central wins out. So I'm sure that's their big thought today.
Talk to me about the motivation for your ball club today, because believe it or not, you have an outside shot at getting a share of the thing, but you got to win today to even have any mathematical chance of being involved.
Well, if we win today and Norfolk beats North Carolina Central today, then it makes us all kind of 2 losses. Now, how that all sorts out, we don't know. I think it kind of sorts out our way, but at the same time, that's a long shot. I don't think that can happen. I tell you what, I want us to go out and play good. That's all we're looking for at this point.
When you're looking playing good, Coach, offensively, you really struggled a little bit last week, but you got it going. It seems like every game, 3rd or 4th quarters, you pick things up and find that. How do you carry that over from last week against Delaware State here today against Howard?
Well, we just need to start sooner. Hopefully we got a plan in place that gives us a little bit better plan of success early in the game. Now, we're going to start Prometheus Franklin today, and having a freshman start, is not a good thing when you start talking about fast starts. But you know what? I like this kid, and he really has a good way about himself. He's not a fast guy, but he can run. He's not a exact guy, but he can throw, some of that kind. So he's got all of the intangibles as far as being a big-time player. So we think he may be the heir apparent down the road, and we've got now a chance to kind of make this thing work in a way that we can see under pressure exactly where he is. So we're going to take that chance and go at least with him for the first half today.
Defensively, Coach, we've had an issue with stopping and running again. You talk about keys to the game. That's one of those things that we have to do if we're going to be in this football game.
That's been a big part of our issues. And we've given up 400-500 yards more rushing than we've rushed for. That's a highly unusual statistic for South Carolina State. We generally stop the run and run the football. So we've got to do a better job. We think we've got a little bit better fit on some of our personnel. We're moving some people around there too. We're going to start Zan Dunham at one of the outside linebackers. We're going to start Jaden Jones, one of the inside linebackers. Jordan Watkins is going to be one of our starting safeties. We got a lot of new faces that we got going over on the defensive side. It'll be interesting to see exactly how that affects the overall situation. But we've got some changes.
Coach, we're redundant every week when we talk about it, but football's pretty basic and pretty simple. What's it going to take for you to get a win?
I think it's exactly what it's been in the past. You got to stop the run, and you got to be able to run the football.
All right, Coach, best of luck here in Howard.
Thank you so much, Ernest.
All right. And West approaches. High end-over-end kick, and it is deep. But Kim White will go into the end zone and now bring it out at the 5. He's at the 10, up the right side at the 15, at the 20. Man, is he hit hard right there, the 22-yard line. Here's the snap. Franklin back to pass, quarterback draw. Franklin gets the first down to about the 33-yard line. Franklin back to pass, looking left. Franklin throwing it out there, hasn't been out there. It's caught by Brown. Brown at the 40 trying to fight to get the first down. Think he got it, Bill, at the 42-yard line. Snap it back to Williams. He's going back to pass. Looking long, and he's going to be wrapped up, brought down. Eric Brown the snap. Prometheus Franklin throws the slant. It's caught. What a catch by Jordan Smith in traffic, the kid from Ridgeview. Play action fake. Franklin back to pass, wanting to go in long. Franklin throwing out there. He's got Shaq Davis out there, and no penalty. Oh, there comes the penalty marker down.
Yeah.
So here they come. Not going to get there. Decent punt. Moody fields it at the 41. Up the field, Moody at the 35. Moody at the 30. Moody still on his feet at the 25. Dances out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. There's a snap. Prometheus Franklin. Fake the short pass through the slant. It is caught. Touchdown. Jordan Smith on the slant. What a throw from Prometheus Franklin. From 23 yards out, the Bulldogs are on the board. So it's 5:14 to go here in the first quarter. The Bulldogs, one play, 23-yard drive. And let me tell you, Prometheus Franklin delivered, Bill. Quentin Williams from the shotgun from the 22-yard line. Quentin Williams hands off Murray in the backfield, trying to break free, goes through the arm of B.J. Davis, and he off and running at the 40. At the 45, 50, gets a block downfield. Going to be clipped up by Jordan Watkins, but tackled down. What a nice long run for the Howard Bison. Jarrett Hunter on the carry. Gives it to Hunter again. Over the left side. Goes into the end zone for the score. And just like that, 2 plays, 2 running plays, and the Bison, Bill, go 78 yards in just 2 plays. And just like that, in a matter of 30 seconds, the game is tied once again. It's South Carolina State 7, Howard 7. And, Bill, that's got to be disappointing for the Bulldog defense. Back to pass Prometheus. Got to let it go. Rolls out to his left, and now he throws it on the run. It is caught. First down, Shaq Davis at the 45. Shaq Davis over at the 49-yard line. And let me tell you, Prometheus Franklin with a great throw on the run and a good block downfield by Tyler Smith. Franklin on the quarterback draw. Franklin, pickup of about 7 on the play. Williams, play action fake. Williams looking deep. Throwing it out there. Kendall Moutry's got great coverage. Knocks it away. What coverage by Kendall Moutry. Gavin Crosby gives it to Crosby over the right side. Crosby missed tackles. Boy, I'm sorry, that's not Crosby. That's Ian Wheeler. Williams back to pass. Williams looking. Man in slot cover. Williams breaks free. This is where people kill us, and Williams gets the first down. Pickup of about 8 on the play. Man in motion is Ilazari. They throw it out in the flat, Ilazari. That may be a fumble. No. And Ilazari is still running and goes through 3 tackles, still picks up 3 yards. So it should have been a loss of 3, Bill. He ends up picking up 3 yards. Bulldogs showing blitz. BJ's talking. Back to pass is Quentin Williams. Williams looking. Williams in trouble. Williams got a lot of room to run. Williams is going to pick up the first down. Missed tackle by the Bulldogs again. Williams down to the 38-yard line. Here's the snap. Handoff inside. This is, again, on the run at the 30, 35. Down to the 22-yard line is Jarrett Hunter again. Back to pass Williams. Williams looking long, got a man out there. It is caught at the 11-yard line. Jaden Jones was there, but he just couldn't make a play on the ball, and that is good for a first down for Howard. For a little bit of a wildcat. Hawthorne runs to the left. Hawthorne cuts back to the right. Hawthorne puts forward, and Hawthorne, they push him into the end zone for the score. And just like that, the Bison barrel into the end zone for the score. So with 9:22 to go here in the first half, the Bison have come back, Bill, with 14 unanswered. Franklin back to pass. Franklin looking long. Boy, he stared Jordan Smith down, but now he's going deep. He's got Shaq Davis out there. Shaq Davis, it is intercepted at the 38-yard line for Howard. Bringing it back for the Bison, that's Xavier
Number
Robio.
12. Yep.
So Robio with the reception. Eden's in the backfield. And this, they snap it back, and there's going to be a tackle for a loss. B.J. Davis on the tackle, on the carry for the Bison. That was Casey Hawthorne. He lost yards, and he's still trying to draw off. Now they snap it back to him. He's in trouble. Back to pass. Bulldogs got him revved up, and he's not going in. But we barely get him down. First down and 10 from the 46 of South Carolina State. He gives it to Jacory over the right side. Jacory hits a hole. Across the 50, Jacory gets up to about the 46-yard line. That's a good gain on first down of about 6 yards. Pistol formation for the Bulldogs. Franklin takes the snap, gives it to Jacory once again over the right side. Jacory hits a hole. Jacory gets close to that first down marker, does get it. They snap it. Play action fake, Pro wants it all. Got a man out there. Shaq Davis calls to his hands. He dropped it. He tried to look at it twice. What a pass. I mean, he zipped it. It was right through his hands. Bulldogs trailing 14-7. Morrows gets off a terrible punt. It's off the side of his foot and goes out of bounds. And, Bill, I venture to say, let me see what the line of scrimmage is.
How much to
the 42-yard line, this is going to be
like a 42, and that didn't go very far.
This is going to be a 3-yard punt. Now the big tight end comes to the H-back position on the right. Handoff inside. This is Edens trying to get outside at the 40, at the 45. Edens at the 50. Edens tackle down. Good open field tackle by DeMarcus Doe. Quentin Williams at quarterback. He's got Jared Hunter to his right. Here comes pressure. Williams flips it out. Going to be offsides on South Carolina State and a touchdown for Howard.
Yeah, B.J. Davis looked like he was offside.
So with 1 minute and 38 seconds to go here in the first half, it's Howard 21, South Carolina State 7. Franklin from the shotgun takes the snap. Quarterback draw. Franklin over the right side at the 25, at the 30, at the 35, slides down. And about the 38-yard line. That's good enough for a South Carolina State first down. So Quentin Williams will take the snap and take the knee, and that is going to be the way the first half ends. Mercifully for South Carolina State, as Howard leads the Bulldogs 21-7. All right, Coach Pugh, Howard University, game started off fairly well. Both teams didn't do anything on both first possessions, but then your special teams and defense sets us up, and we get on the board early with a really nice pass from Prometheus Franklin, who got to start and played well in the first half.
He did, and we got a situation where we got a short field there. We kept going back and forth there early. Neither team could really get much going offensively, but we were having a little bit of success. Then we punted them down close, got a chance to get the ball close to the goal line, and then Prometheus made a play. So Prometheus threw the ball to Jordan Smith for a touchdown, which, was good for a while.
It was a tough catch for Jordan Smith going in between a couple of people to get the touchdown, but then on the ensuing possession, I mean, the dam broke as far as the running is concerned. 71-yard run by Howard, and then, of course, they quickly got off the play because I guess they were feared that they'd find out that the guy stepped out of bounds on a 71-yard run.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was one of those situations where exactly what we didn't need to happen happened. Right after we scored, they ran right down the field and got another score. I was really disappointed in that because of the fact that I needed them to kind of establish themselves. It's like when you're in baseball, when you go out and have a big inning, then your pitcher needs to come down and have a shutdown inning. Well, in this particular case, we had just gotten a score. Our defense needed to shut them down, and it was awfully ugly in the fact that we went out and gave up a long run almost on the first play.
You started talking about that, then of course Howard would get the football back, Coach, and the run really became a problem. And it was more third down than anything else because you get them good stop on first and second down, and third down they break off 8-9 yards for first down.
A good bit of the third down runs, though, were scramble runs at that point, though. We had quarterback back for a pass and can't necessarily find anybody. We can't get him on the ground. We can't quite get to him. And he scrambles out and runs for a first down. I think they had 2 or 3 of those in their next drive that gave them points.
You start talking about Howard, of course, they did it exclusively on the run. Quentin Williams is an able quarterback. We've seen him throw it before, but Coach, he didn't throw the ball maybe 6 times in the first half.
No, they didn't throw the football. They didn't have to. We had a breakdown a little bit on our end runs, and they were able to bounce out the counter play and get a good many yards that way, almost at will for a while.
So South Carolina State trailing Howard going into the first half, or should I say first it was 14-7, it was 21-7 at halftime. And the thing about that was, because Howard won the opening toss, they began with possession of the second half.
They did. And it was one of those, let's see if we can get the football back in good positive field position at the beginning of the second half. But what actually ended up happening is that they got the football down across midfield, and then they pinned us down on our end for a while, so we didn't get much done. And it wasn't long after that we had one of our big injuries to our quarterback, Prometheus Franklin.
That was where the first half ended. South Carolina State trailing Howard 21-7. We'll have more of the Buddy Pugh Show right after this time now. All right, it's time for the Prism Health Injury Report for the Howard University game, Coach. And this was a tough game, especially injury-wise, when you lose your freshman who played so well in the first half.
It was. You get a little bit of a sick feeling because we really put Prometheus Franklin in a position to really show how far along he was. And he was doing good, but he hurt his knee. And, we'll find out more about that later. But at this point right now, it does not look good. And then Dwayne Nichols, one of our senior safety guys, hurt his lower area somehow or another this Thursday in practice. And then we just already lost Corey Fields to a thumb or to a finger, and Jablonski Green to a shoulder. So we've got a good many guys now, on the injury report.
So you're talking about the Prism Health Injury Report getting longer and longer as the season goes on for South Carolina State. We'll take a time out here on the Buddy Pugh Show. We'll have more right after these messages.
Now with the navy blue jerseys, gray pants, white numbers, high kickoff. Is going to be fielded by V, one of the upbacks, at the 25 at the 30. Pushed out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Shotgun snap, Williams back to pass. Williams looking, plenty of time. Williams now in trouble. Williams in trouble. Wrapped up, brought down. We finally make a play. B.J. Davis makes the tackle.
Wow.
Back at the 46-yard line. That's a huge play for South Carolina State. Now they back off. Williams option to the left side. This is Wheeler across the right side, picks up 13 yards very easily. Bulldogs are kind of stacking the box here in the second half. Williams back to pass. Here comes pressure. BJ chases him, flips it out to Azari. Azari gets up the field, tackled down 5 yards out of bounds. Fortunately, we didn't get a penalty over there, Bill, but it's a pickup for another first down. Shotgun snap to Quentin Williams as Lowy pulls it in. Williams back to pass, dancing in the pocket. It's going to be wrapped up, brought down. Aaron Smith. Look what I found. Quarterback sack. They snap it. Back to pass is Williams. Williams, screen pass. Caught over there by Hunter. Hunter over the right side at the 35 at the 30 at the 25. Out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. The little screen to Jared Hunter. Hunter's in the backfield to his right. Murray's in motion from right to left. They give it to Hunter. Hunter dances inside, across the 15, down to the 13-yard line before Kendall Moutry makes the tackle. Two receivers are stacked to the left. Two tight ends in. They snap it back to Hawthorne. Over the right side, Hawthorne down about the 3-yard line. Three receivers, Wildcat. Hawthorne wants to throw. Flips it up. It is caught, but I think he's out of bounds.
He's out of bounds.
Williams back to pass. Williams is in trouble. Flips it out. It's easy. Touchdown. Jared Hunter from 2 yards out. So with 58 seconds to go in the third quarter, Bulldogs are 3 scores down. It's 28 for the Bison, 7 for South Carolina State. Shotgun snap, back to pass. Prometheus Franklin on the quarterback draw. Across the 30 at the 35, he's at the 40. 45, 50 in the Howard territory at the 45. Goes down at the 43-yard line. The best running play of the day, and Prometheus Franklin goes down in a heap, and he is injured. Williams gives it to Edens. Eden dances in the backfield, goes to the right side, gets outside of B.J. Davis at the 30, at the 35. Cuts back at the 42-yard line. Tackle upfield by B.J. Davis. 2nd down and 1. Low snap, Tyrese back to pass. Tyrese had a man out there, but he's going long to Shaq Davis. Makes the catch at the 28-yard line. What a nice throw. Tyrese sneaked to Shaq Davis for a first down. Here's the snap. Back to pass, Tyrese. Throws it out there. It's caught. Shaq Davis at the 5. Davis down to the 2-yard line. It's 1st and goal, South Carolina State. Nick keeps it himself, walks into the end zone, score. Minute 49 to go. Bulldogs get on the board. 28 for the Bison, 13 for South Carolina State. 3rd down and 7, and this one is pretty much in the books. Williams will take the snap, take the knee, and that's going to do it from Green Stadium and Howard University. The Bison get a big win over South Carolina State, 28-14.
All right, Coach, the second half, Howard began with possession, and the biggest problem for them was that they were able to hold on to the football because they were running it so well.
Exactly. They got down in our territory early in the second half, and we finally got them stopped, but they punted us down inside our 10-yard line, and we didn't do much with it, and they got it and did it again, and eventually they got it in down there, which, was kind of our death sentence because, they were up 28-7, and at that point, we were struggling because we lost Prometheus somewhere right about that same time.
Tyrese Snick came in and valiantly tried to rally the Bulldogs. Eventually would get a score on the board, Coach, but by that time it was too late.
It was, but, those senior guys now, will, be cherishing every moment for the rest of their careers now. We got one more game, and, we're looking forward now to coming home and seeing if we can, finish off with a bang this coming Saturday.
All right, Bulldogs will come home to take on Norfolk State. We'll take a time out here on the Buddy Pugh Show. We'll come back and tell you what is up next in the final football game of the 2022 season for your South Carolina State Bulldogs. All right, Coach, we talked about the difficulty of getting prepared for this one. This is the last game of the season. It's the last game for the seniors of this particular class, which did a lot since they've been here at South Carolina State. But, of course, Norfolk State and I guess the Spartans, just like any other Bulldog opponent, will smell blood and going to come after us.
It'll be a tough game for us this coming Saturday, but, you know, it'll be the last game for both of us. Neither one of us are going anywhere, you know, at this point. But we've got a nice group of seniors that'll be playing their last game. We want to make sure that we send them off right. They'll be teary-eyed this week as we practice each day. We'll go through Sunday's practice tomorrow. We'll come back and do one on Tuesday. And each day at that point, they'll be counting it down. So this will be a tough week for them. So we need to do a good job of making sure that we make these lasting memories for them so that they can be, you know, somewhat positive about our university forever and ever.
And, you know, one more thing I want to point out, Coach, here at Howard, you had a huge contingency of Bulldog fans that made it up to the game.
It's a wonderful thing to see our people travel and follow us the way they do. We've had for years more people in our on our side of the field than it's been for, you know, the teams that we played against. So it's a, you know, great thing. You know, we've got a nice tradition of our fans coming out and seeing us play here in D.C.
All right, folks, we hope to see you next week down in Orangeburg when the Bulldogs take on the Norfolk State Spartans, and next week right here on Bally Sports on the Buddy Pugh Show.